Cool. I think we're going. All right, guys. Welcome. Hello. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are all doing really good. Just a couple announcements. One is Team Cup is coming up. It starts on the 1st. The last day to sign up is the 31st. So that's, what day is that? That's super soon. This month.
Tuesday.
Question.
Tuesday.
Does anyone not have a Team Cup team yet? That is not a lifetime bet.
Yeah, I was going to say, we should definitely do a post and see who still needs a team for sure. Because I think there's a couple teams to fill.
I think Robin would want to do it, but I don't think she has a team yet.
Okay. And if you're watching this later, the recording, hit me up. Or something.
Perfect. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and mute in the meantime. But of course, if you guys have anything, you can always unmute yourselves. There's just background noise. Cool. Okay, so Team Cup, the last day to register is the 31st. So if you're not on one, reach out to Laura. I know I still have some spots on my team, so just let us know. And along with that, we're doing a really exciting group. And Laura, do you want to, or Erica, you guys want to touch on it real fast? Okay, go for it, Laura.
You muted me. So yeah, we're going to be doing, I guess, sort of a push for Emerald group, but it's pushing for Emerald again and again and again. So it's not just for new coaches, but it is also perfect for new coaches. And I know we've talked a lot about how we're trying to get things simplified, and I'm definitely trying to simplify my business. Complexity has just been like my enemy and slowed down a bunch of my progress. So this group is seriously going to be perfect for no matter how long you've been involved. I've been a coach for more than 2 years now, and I'm really excited for it. And then brand new coaches, you're going to absolutely learn the skills that you need to get Emerald. It's going to be awesome, basically. And we're going to have prizes for how we haven't quite figured out the prizes yet, but there's going to be prizes. I feel like Donald Trump saying that it's going to be great. I don't know how yet, but it's going to be great. It's going to be huge. So definitely want to join this group if you want some accountability. We're all going to be pushing really hard in February. And not to mention, this is coinciding with Team Cup. So it's going to kind of be like a big group, no matter what Team Cup team you're on. It's going to be sort of a big accountability group for that. So you're going to rock Team Cup. You're going to rock your own business, win some prizes, and no matter where you are, you should definitely join. And that's the story.
Perfect. Yes, and we're super excited about it. And the Team Cup prizes are pretty legit too. So I'm all about the prizes next month. But I'm always about the prizes. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, did anyone see that Carl Deichler posted he's giving away $1,000 to the top 20 people who sell the All Access Challenge Pack, Diamond and below? It's like that could literally be any of us. So it's not who sells the most challenge packs. It's that particular one. That's $1,000. So more reason to just really rock out February.
Yeah, for sure. That was crazy. And but we still have plenty of time for January. So if you're not on the Success Club board, you still got several days. Make sure you guys are doing your follow-ups and bringing people in. That way they're ready to rock and roll in our February groups. So I think that's all I have for announcements. Does anybody have any shout outs or other announcements that they want to throw out there? Nothing? Okay. I know we've been posting announcement or shout outs in the team page, so they're kind of there. Okay. So for tonight's call, this is going to be a lot more informal. I am not going to talk at you for an hour. Thank God, aren't we all happy? But I was talking with some of the other leaders on the team, and I think calls like this are cool because the trainings are amazing, but I think there's something to be said for us building our friendships and our relationships here, and also building kind of like momentum moving forward into February, because I think we're kind of all in the goal setting mind. It's January. We're looking at what we want to do this year. But really, when it comes down to it, I think sometimes we need to consistently remind ourselves of why we're doing this to begin with and why we got fired up about Beachbody in the first place. And especially when you've been here, the longer you're here, I think sometimes you can kind of disconnect yourself from where you started. And that just pure excitement of helping your first person. And so I thought it would be cool, and some of the leaders thought it would be cool to talk tonight about that and open up and kind of share, to relight our own fire, but to light each other's fires too, because this is inspiration to hear how it's helped one another, because we want to go help more people with similar stories. And then obviously Transformation Tuesdays, we kind of learn more about each other and can share those transformations about each other in the upcoming weeks too. So kind of a lot of different benefits to doing this. So I think I'm gonna break it into kind of sections. And I think a lot of what most of us start with, or why we're here, is the physical transformation. And so some of us have shared our stories, but some of you guys, I don't know your transformation yet. So I just want us to kind of jump in there and share how our physical health, either like weight, inches, or health problems, how Beachbody has impacted you in that way. Laura!
I'll go. So my physical transformation has had some ups and downs. And I'm choosing to think of that more as I'm happy that I now know how shitty it can be if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing with Beachbody. So it kind of reminded me of where I was before. And even though I don't want to be in that place right now, I think it's still valuable. But when I started, I was a customer and I did 21-day fix, the original one. And I was just desperate to lose weight for my wedding. And I had like 30 days to do it. And I just did 21-day fix for 30 days and I lost 12 pounds for my wedding. And I didn't take before and after pictures. I was just like, this is what I'm doing. I just have to lose weight. I wasn't concerned about showing other people my progress or anything like that. So I don't have any before and afters from that, but I was really happy with it. And then when I got to my honeymoon, I ate and drank everything. And then when I got home, kind of did the same thing and realized that I needed to do something to get back in that mindset of don't undo everything you've just worked for kind of thing. So I decided to become a coach because Insanity Max 30 was really intriguing me. I'd done Insanity years ago. And so I did that. And with that program, I lost like another 10 pounds. And then just from then on, I was, just kind of mixing and matching, doing lots of different programs. I finally became a believer in Shakeology. It took me a while. But as far as other physical transformations with that, I had really bad digestion and I didn't really know what was going on, but I was pretty much anytime I ate, I had incredible stomach pains. I still don't really know what it was that was bothering me. To be honest, I feel like I didn't really change my diet all that much, but I just added Shakeology and that kind of went away. And I've also learned that when I stop drinking Shakeology, it comes back. And I get bloating like you wouldn't believe just from eating like a single piece of bread or even chicken breast. Or like if I eat anything, my stomach just kind of freaks out if I'm not taking care of it. So that's what Shakeology really truly does for me. That's like the most beneficial thing I've had from it. The other thing was I had like a really bad rash on my face that dermatologists didn't know what it was. And that was before my wedding. And it was terrifying. I had all these different prescriptions, like creams, and I was taking like antibiotics, I think, or steroids. Like I was doing everything to try to mask this, and the steroids actually made it worse. So when I tried to come off the steroids, my face got worse. It would help it if I was using it, but then it would get worse if I stopped. And I kid you not, like, I know, like, we're not supposed to say that Shakeology technically did anything for us, like, in that medical sense, but it is the only thing I changed. It is absolutely the only thing I changed. And it went away, and I don't have to use, like, these cream things anymore. And I really do attribute it to having better nutrition, and that my immune system was able to fight whatever the hell was going on. So those, I think, are like my two big physical things, since I am not really in the weight loss category anymore, because I've, again, done some bad stuff with my nutrition. I've been pretty good with working out, but nutrition's been shit. And so I've gained a lot of my weight back. Unfortunately, I'm stronger, but I'm not looking like how I want to look. And so that's entirely the nutrition thing. But my health feels a lot better because of those reasons.
That's awesome. I had no idea about those two things with Shakeology about you. And that's so cool to hear, because, I mean, I know we're not supposed to use the word cure, but when I describe my stuff too, same thing. It's like, it's healing your body from the inside out. And it's so amazing. So thanks for sharing. That was really cool. Who wants to go next? I love hearing this stuff. Okay, I'll go. I was going to give you guys a shot to jump in there. Okay, so my physical transformation, I've lost and almost kept off. Again, there's like a little, 5 pound up and down based on, or 10 pound on vacations. But for most of the time, I've lost and kept off almost 30 pounds, which has been a whole, like, I'll talk about the emotional side of that later, but really, really cool. Dropped a couple pant sizes and dress sizes, all that good stuff. But again, even beyond just the weight loss, I started getting really sick when I was 9, and I had ulcers at the age of 9, and acid reflux. I was eating Tums like it was my job, kind of like Laura. Anytime I ate, it wasn't every time I ate, but anytime we would eat out, anytime I ate anything kind of sour or spicy or like anything other than really bland, I ended up with stomach cramps and IBS and nausea. And I just, at 9, 10, 11 years old, I was constantly living with those issues and had to go to a specialist and do the scopes and everything. And it was really hard for a young kid, because I didn't know what was going on, and then that would make me really anxious, and then my anxiety flares up digestion and IBS and stuff. So it was like a vicious cycle, and we had to change my diet a lot and cut out like fruits and stuff that had a lot of citric acid, and that helped for a while, but not completely. And then as I got older, I just had a whole string of other things. I was always getting sick. I would have sinus infections every month or two. It was like clockwork. And I caught anything and everything everybody had. I mean, there was no chance of me not getting sick if someone around me was sick. And then I ended up with chronic headaches every single day. I didn't know how to live without a headache. And that was during college. And so like studying was a nightmare. And then that caused anxiety and then insomnia. So I was like the girl who would take like a sleep aid to sleep and then have to pop a caffeine pill in the morning and like to stay up and study. And like, that was not healthy, but that's how I got through college. I just like had to find ways to deal with the symptoms. Because like I didn't see any way to get rid of them. And so by college, I was on 9 medications for all those things. And then by 23, I was diagnosed with arthritis in my neck, and they did an injection of steroids. And they're like, okay, well, we can do this a few times, but if it doesn't work, we're going to want to go in and I don't remember the fancy word, but basically like cut my nerve endings so I don't feel the pain. And I was like, so the solution to pain is let's make it so you can't feel it. And then if something else happens to your neck, you won't know it because you can't feel pain. So hopefully you just don't ever get injured. Or like, that was so ridiculous to me. I'm like, really? There's nothing else. I just feel like that's how our medical world treats things, and it's not their fault, but it's crazy. So anyway, then really I got into it because I wanted to lose the weight, and then the clean eating and the Shakeology. And with and without Shakeology, because for a long time I didn't want to pay for it, so I tried to prove I didn't need it, and just clean eating would fix it and stuff, and it helped, but I still had especially my digestion and ulcers and stuff. So as of now, I dropped all of those medications. I have one as needed for my insomnia, but I dropped all those medications. My ulcers are gone, my acid reflux is gone, my IBS is gone, my chronic headaches and migraines are gone. And then with chiropractic care, I don't have my muscle relaxants or my anti-inflammatories anymore. Like, I have occasional pain when I, do too high of a kick with core force, or like try to lift the extra 5 pounds in Body Beast because I think I'm awesome. And then I'm like, oh, like that's when I feel pain now, is like when I do something to induce pain. I don't feel pain every single day. I don't wake up with it and go to sleep. And I mean, those symptoms affected my whole body, and I was just miserable. And like, I had no energy, and now I still kind of go through waves with, that's normal, but I never knew you could live without sickness. I had no clue. And so it just genuinely fixed all of these issues. And I'm healthier now than I've been since I was like probably 7 or 8 years old. It's absurd. So that's my story. Okay, who's next? I want to hear a little bit more, at least from like 1 or 2 more people. Erica!
Okay. I started as a customer too. I started off with 21 Day Fix because we were doing like a workout program thing where you could win money. So I was super excited just to win money. But I lost 6 pounds with it, and 6 inches, which was pretty awesome because it would take me like months to lose maybe half of that. So I was pretty excited about that. But I always have had back pain. I got tall really early. Like, I was like the tallest 5th grader ever. And so I was in physical therapy when I was in 5th grade and 6th grade because my back always hurt. I have a tiny bit of scoliosis, which is always super fun, but my back always hurt because I got tall so quickly that it just always bothered me, and I just got used to it. And when Addie was born, I threw my back out. I worked in restaurants, so I would throw my back out. And when she was really little, I couldn't sit on the floor with her. It hurt too bad. I felt like a little old lady. I'd have to have like pillows like stacked up underneath me, and after about like 20 minutes, I had to like roll off and get off the floor. And it was just awful because I couldn't even play with my kid for very long, or we'd have to figure out whatever she wanted to play. It had to be on furniture so I didn't hurt my back. And when I started doing 21 Day Fix and just kind of like tightening everything up and strengthening all those muscles, I really don't have it anymore. I still go to the chiropractor every once in a while just because they're awesome, but I can sit on the floor with her all afternoon and not really have a problem anymore because I've strengthened all those muscles that were bothering me, and like doing the yoga and doing all those other programs, and it's just awesome to be able to play on the floor with her. So that's my favorite thing. I love your reaction there, Erin.
You were choking me up because that is so cool. Like, how many more memories and how much stronger your bond can be with your kid because of this. Like, that's just absolutely remarkable to me. So
yeah,
cool.
I love that because she is totally me, and she's like the tallest 2nd grader ever. She's gonna be a giant, so she's gonna have the same problems I am, but she like does my workouts with me, which is super cute. So at least she has a way to like fix it before it starts really bothering her.
Yeah, that's true. So that's the other aspect then is you can help prevent her from having those issues.
Yeah, because it was super cool to be like a 10 or 11-year-old at physical therapy with like a back brace. That's always super awesome.
Sweet. Okay, let's see.
Hi, Jonah.
Oh, who is that?
It's Christine. So I'm driving home from work, so that's why you can't see me.
Yay, thanks for joining us. All right, you're up.
Okay, so I kind of have two physical stories. The first time I ever did Beachbody was in college. So I just graduated grad school in May, so about like 2.5 years ago. And my roommate had got it and wanted to try it out, and she like wanted a friend to do it with her. But so of course it was on like a Thursday night or something, and a couple of my other friends had already started like drinking and pre-gaming. So she was like, "Are you like, will anyone do this with me? Will anyone do the first day of this 21-day fix with me?" So I was like, "Sure, I'll do it." I already had like 3 or 4 drinks in me, like didn't think anything of it. And so I was doing the whole 21-day fix with her, and it was literally horrible. I was like, "This is the worst thing ever," and got sick afterwards. And I was like, "I will never do a workout like that ever again." And it's just like an ongoing funny story because, of course, I got sick because I was doing an intense workout intoxicated. So then come grad school, Brad and I went to the same high school together, so he's kind of like reached out multiple times. And I was just kind of in a rut, and like I'm a runner, so I've always kind of ran, but like didn't do it to lose weight. It's just been like kind of a coping mechanism and just kind of enjoy running. So my sister's wedding was coming up, so we have an ongoing joke, Brad and I, that I reached out to him asking him how to lose back fat. Again, didn't think anything of Beachbody or anything like that. I just wanted some ways on how I could lose just my back fat. So he was like, "Well," he's like, "why don't you try this, try this?" And of course I said no like 3 or 4 times. And then finally I was like, "Okay, fine, like I'll try it. Let's go." And I signed up and I did it. And so this was in May. So then from May until now, I've lost 28 pounds. And that's like the physical part of it, and like 2.5 or some inches. And looking back, I'm like such an idiot. And I'm like, I should have given it a chance sooner, because it literally has changed not only, we'll talk about the emotional, but like my physical life. In the weight loss, but also, I mean, I have so much energy, and I stand by the myth of when people are like, "Oh yeah, when you work out, like you're going to be like more tired," and that is such a myth, because I mean, I work 40 hours a week in 3 days, and I still go home every night and press play. I'm not exhausted. I go to bed tired, and I wake up refreshed. So, I really am strong. As if you give it a chance, it really does make a difference.
Yeah, that is so awesome. I love how like you were so doubtful, because I think most of us were at first, but you gave it a chance, and then it changed everything. That's so funny.
What program were you using?
And it was, well, so I started off, I did the 21-day fix. And I personally am not a huge fan of that one, just because, I mean, it's not, I'm more of like a fast pace, like I want to like go. So I did that one, and then I did the 22-minute hardcore, and that's where I really lost like a ton of my weight. And interesting enough, when I signed up for Beachbody, I was actually doing Weight Watchers at the same time. And so for a little while, I like let them both go together. But then I was realizing that they're like, I wasn't losing as much weight just on Weight Watchers. And so I was like, I need to stop one of them. So like, which one am I going to stop? So I stopped Weight Watchers and did Beachbody, and instantly started losing weight. So I think with Weight Watchers, it took me like 12 weeks to lose like a pound. And with Beachbody, I think it was like maybe 2 weeks, and I was like down like 3 or 4. So I agree it's really the nutrition, but I really agree it's all of them combined. Like you can't just focus on one area. You really have to have the motivation, the consistency, the shakes, and the workout. So, because I was not a strong believer in Shakeology either. I mean, I have celiac disease, I have stomach issues, and I was like, no, it's not for me. So, but now I am probably we're all probably obsessed with it, but I am like addicted to it, if that's a thing.
You have celiac disease?
I do.
And you still drink Shakeology?
You can, because it's not made for the wheatgrass that's in it is not made like the actual bud of the wheat is that's just the grass that's made or the ingredient in the Shakeology. So it's not the actual bud of the wheat that they use in the Shakeology. It's just like the bottom part of the grass, and that's not where the gluten comes from.
That's good to know, because I have a friend who has celiac, and she was interested but didn't want to try it because it's not certified gluten-free, and I think that's because of where it's made or something like that. It can't be certified, but
so it did give me it gave me a good problem for a good week or two, but I think it gives a lot of people a problem for a week or two because it's something that has to get used to your body. So I pushed through because I knew the benefit of it, and I don't have a problem. I mean, I have everyone, it sounds like tonight, have a problem if I don't drink it. So
yeah.
Very cool. Thanks for sharing. That's really interesting.
Don't do the 21-day fix intoxicated. It does not go over well.
Lesson learned. Oh,
yes, I probably won't drink Mike's Hard Lemonade ever again because of that. So
no, I wouldn't drink it anyway. It's super sugary now, and the older I get, I'm like, I can't drink that sugary stuff. But very cool. Thanks for sharing, Christine. Okay, so let's see. Anybody want to jump in next?
Hi, you guys. It's Catherine.
Yay! Hi, Catherine.
Hi. Well, I lost my final 5 pounds before Christmas, so I finally got to my goal weight, 50 pounds lost. Unfortunately, over Christmas, 7 pounds came back, but that's coming off again. So it's just amazing how I feel at being at goal weight. It's really hard to explain. Losing 45 pounds was just so amazing, but those last 5 pounds, I don't know. And with Shakeology, I really feel like I'm addicted to it. There's something in it that my body really needs. And, with having thyroid problems, I'm not sure if it's something that it regulates somehow, because thyroid is so powerful. It has effects on every part of the body. So I kind of wonder about that. But, I just keep thinking all the people that have thyroid problems, and there's many, many, I really think it would change people's lives. So I'm a believer, and when I get the pounds off again, I just feel super. It's hard to explain. So yeah.
That is so awesome. Your before and afters are mind blowing. I absolutely love seeing it pop up.
Well, I actually haven't taken my afters yet. So and
final goal weight afters.
Yeah, and I have to update those, but I have to lose the weight again, which it won't take as long. I'm doing Core de Force, and Core de Force for some reason is working for me like no other program has. I don't know why, but I just love it. So yeah, it won't be long, and I will have after pictures.
Yay! That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, I saw a hand right before. All right, go for it.
All righty then. Can you hear me? Yep. I started mostly because I had done pretty good. I had lost a lot of weight when we had our first 2 kids. So I was feeling pretty good about myself. I was doing a lot of racing, the obstacle course racing and stuff like that. But then when we found out baby 3 and 4 were coming around, I kind of stopped doing all that for a year because I was going to start looking for a new job. And that year I was really in bad shape because I was really unhappy at work and I knew I had to stay there for the insurance. So it was a rough year. I would have a bad day at work and I would just come home and check out and be on the computer and the TV and chug ice cream all afternoon. After dinner, a few pizzas and some dessert. And just literally by the end of the year, I had buttons literally flying off my pants. So that's when I was like, okay, something's got to change. So I started going to the gym and I started losing a little bit of weight and I tried to eat less pizza and less ice cream. But I was still on that. And I lost like 12 pounds in like 3 months. But then as I started losing weight, I wanted to get back into racing more seriously, thinking I could get some extra money because my wife had just stopped working. So we had lost that extra income. So I figured I'll give this a try. Adrian hit me up and it was like, okay, I'll try it. You know, I was skeptical of Shakeology, of course, because it was so expensive. I was like 30 days and that's it. I'll keep doing the workouts, but no shake. And of course, after 30 days, I had lost already like 12 pounds. And I got hooked on the shake. So I was eating that instead of my ice cream. So I would have like a fruit smoothie at night. And that's still my treat now. So after that, I just kept doing one program after another and after another and stuck with my meal plan. And I just seemed like each program helps me out in a different way. I've kind of stuck with it. And on Shakeology too, it's my treat now. Even if I'm going to go out and, you know, have a few burgers or beers, I'll have my shake beforehand because I know I'm probably not going to be super satisfied with that stuff. So I'll eat it ahead of time. That way I don't overeat. And then I still feel good. But that's where it's helped me out the most. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know you talked about too with doing your races, doing the Beachbody and like losing that weight made you more competitive and like it helped with some cross training too, didn't it?
Oh yeah. Like before when I was doing it, I was like maybe like in the 50% of the people I was doing it. And then this year, my last race, I got 5th place in my heat. So
dang.
yeah.
Nice.
And then I started doing the performance line too. So doing like the energize before and the hydrate during the race. And it really boosted my performance on that. So this year we're looking to really push and maybe get a podium. So we'll see.
That is so cool. That is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Does anybody else? Jonathan?
I have a question. Homero, how much weight total have you lost so far? Did you say
I lost about 34 pounds, but I've kept it off for about 10 months. But yeah, I've pretty much maintained the weight. Once I lost it, I maintained it. But I can see a lot different muscle tone. So more than anything, it's just been able to maintain it.
Your before and afters are kick-ass too. Like so many people on our team have awesome transformations. I love hearing these. Anybody else want to jump in? I won't make you, but I want to give you a shot. Okay. So either way, even if you didn't share, I mean, we all kind of know our transformation and we know that we're still on that journey. But it's interesting when we force ourselves to kind of look back at some of those details. And as some of you were telling your stories, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that feeling. Like when you were describing how different that made you feel. And it's interesting because when we go through and we write out our story, no matter how short or long that is at this point, it kind of stirs something up. And so Erica kind of touched on this a little bit, but beyond just the physical transformation, and you can add in, well, let me phrase this in like a decent question. What has this transformation allowed you to do that you otherwise couldn't? Or what new doors has it opened for you? How has your life ultimately changed? And that can be either mental or emotional, or activities you can do, or however different something is now that probably wouldn't have been possible before Beachbody. So kind of like, Eric, I'll kind of steal from you and you can totally expand, but you'd mentioned like you can sit and play on the ground with your daughter, and that might not have been possible without these exercises. And that's so much beyond just losing weight. That's like creating memories. So I want us to take it to a deeper level on emotionally and opportunity-wise how it's changed our lives. Anybody want to start?
Well, I'll go since you stole from me already. So, well, in addition to that, like, I kind of always struggled with my weight because I was like a giant. So I was always the bigger kid just because I was always so tall. And then I kind of started getting chubby too. So I was just that's who I was. And it kind of sucks. And I don't want Addie to go through that because she's already going to be an Amazon. She's so tall already that I don't want her to feel that it's a negative. Like, we try to talk it up like, okay, she's got my like giant meaty legs, but that's why I can run really far, and that I can outrun her dad. And, she's going to play volleyball or something like that. We like talk about it as a positive, like as a strength for her. So that she doesn't go through that. Cause everybody's going to go through body issues anyway, but if we can kind of start it out as like, yeah, you're tall and that's awesome. Or you got strong legs and that's awesome. Like, we try to talk it up in that sort of way. And then for me, as far as that goes, I'm off of all of my anxiety medication, which is just flipping awesome. And I was kind of scared to do it because they warn you not to do that, and not to go cold turkey. So I kind of eased myself off of it because I wasn't having that like hamster on the wheel thing that you have where you can't sleep and your brain never shuts off. And I just like, my hamster was kind of always going. And I was exhausted from it too. I couldn't sleep very well and it wasn't restful sleep. And about 6 months of Shakeology, I was sleeping so well. Like, cause I was working my body out during the day. I was getting what I needed from the shakes and like my sleep was just awesome. And so I thought maybe I would give it a try. So I kind of cut my dosage back like in half, and then I didn't even really notice a difference. So I just stopped taking them all together. So yeah, shakes can be expensive, but so are all my prescriptions. So it was a way better trade and I'm really excited about it.
That is amazing. I appreciate you sharing that because that is like beyond the cost of medications. It impacts your life in a lot of ways, and having to remember to take them, and there's negative side effects and all of that. So being able to not have to take those,
Yeah, the sleep is just like, and honestly, with the refresh, I don't know how many of you guys have done it, but I slept like pre-baby well on the refresh. I don't know what it was about it, but I was out cold. Like nothing would wake me up. I was out. It was bad, but it was really good at the same time.
I have heard that. That's awesome. Very cool. Who else is up? Laura.
So I love that, Erica, that you've gotten off of your anxiety meds because that's a goal of mine. I've not yet. And I've gone through points where I'm like, maybe I could. And then it kind of starts to creep back in. So that just tells, and whenever it's really good, it's when I'm actually following my program and stuff. So I just need to, refocus on my own goals. And I appreciate you saying that because that is one of my goals, especially for when eventually I want to start having a family. I don't want to be on them because it's potentially dangerous. So that was awesome that you made me remember that and think of that. For me, I used to be athletic and playing sports all the time, constantly. I played 3 sports until I finally decided I needed to dedicate myself to one. which was softball. And then I played that through college. And when I no longer played, that was kind of when my depression and anxiety started hitting me, along with other stuff like family issues. Pretty much everything piled on at the exact same time, as life sometimes does. And I also just felt like I lost a piece of myself, because I always identified myself as, I'm a really good softball player. That's what I do. And I realized I didn't really have any other identifier for myself. That was how I self-identified. And so when that was gone, I felt like I wasn't really, good at anything, or I didn't have that like competitive thing, and I didn't have exercise every day to keep me motivated and feeling good because of that. And so it wasn't until I joined a challenge group that I finally had some of that competitive feeling back. I wanted to, kick ass in my program and do it every single day and not skip a calendar day because then I lose, kind of thing. So that's kind of my personality. And it helped me kind of find myself again. Paired that with, I guess I wouldn't say necessarily this is like a result from the product side, but the support side that Beachbody offers. It's easier for me to open up with people because I've had this community, and I tend to kind of shy away from it sometimes when I'm going, this is hard for me to say. So when I'm going through stuff, whatever it is that's going on in my head, I can't even explain it sometimes. And that's kind of what I've been going through lately. And I have to remember that meeting everyone on the team and like all of you guys, I can't even put it into words. Like, I used to think that I wasn't interesting or worthy of friends wanting to hang out with me because I wasn't fun to hang out with, or I wasn't funny, or I didn't bring any value to a relationship, because I had that happen to me over and over and over again in my life. And the people that I've met through doing this have finally allowed me to start pivoting and realizing that I can talk about stuff like this with people, and I can sit down every week and enjoy seeing my friends face to face, and I think that they enjoy seeing me too. And so that's probably the biggest thing for me, was emotionally going through everything that this company has done, is not only wanting to be a part of this community and feeling included, but then also helping me to reach out and put myself out there again with new people and asking them to join and asking them to do a challenge group with me. When before I probably wouldn't have, because I didn't think they would have cared what I had to say, kind of thing. So that's probably my biggest impact.
Yeah, I actually really connect with that. And I know Laura and I have kind of talked about it at events before too, but so I'll kind of piggyback off that since there's some overlap. But yeah, I agree. I also played softball, and when I got injured and had to stop, it was like I lost a part of who I was. I didn't have hobbies and things to fall back on, because it was always softball 100% of the time. And same thing with moving around, and I just I had more trouble, and still, even as an adult, I feel like it's harder to find friends and make friends and connect on people with on a deeper level. And the amazing thing about our team and Beachbody as a whole are the positive, loving people that are a part of it. And I genuinely still believe you won't find another group of people like us anywhere else, because everyone is so genuine and just wanting to help and love each other. And that's made a huge impact on my confidence and me feeling like I have a place and a purpose. And same thing, building confidence. That was a huge thing for me. And that confidence affects everything. That affects how I interview at a job. That affects how I interact with superiors or meeting people out in public. And it even affects a marriage. When you feel more confident and you love yourself, you have so much more to give. And I think that's had a huge impact on my marriage, in that, like, I get excited about it and I feel like I have this, like, part of me back. And I think that's probably why a big reason why Jared's so supportive is it makes me happy, and it gives me a direction to go when a lot of times, like, everything else in life might feel like it's crumbling around you, but you have our team and you have this and you have your program, and you know that no matter what else won't work or isn't working in your life, this will work. And these people are here. And it, like, seeing Laura and I joined only a couple months apart over 2 years ago. And that's the thing, is like, when one of us is having a hard time, it's like, we know a lot of each other's story, and you can count on that person. And we only see each other like twice a year, but it's crazy how, it's hard to put into words, but the longer you're around too, you just develop really strong friendships through all of this. Anybody else? Okay, so we have just about 10 minutes left. So I want to take this kind of just to the final step. We talked about how it's physically changed our lives. We've talked some about how it's emotionally, mentally, and obviously we kind of talked about, like, how it impacts. I talked about marriage and employment just holistically. And the big thing that I wanted to really get to tonight is that's why we're here now. Because if this hadn't impacted our lives in a significant way, we wouldn't be coaching and we wouldn't still be here. And sometimes we get stuck in trying to hit Success Club, or like the stressors of life, and the business feels overwhelming, or we get in our heads and we overcomplicate things. That's usually the biggest problem with this business, is we overcomplicate it. And we put a lot of stress on ourselves. And when we refocus on why we joined and what this did for us, it really lights a fire in what you can give. And so if you think about what you guys just shared with me about how, or with each other, about how this has changed your life, how would it feel to give that to someone else? To give that gift? To give them playtime on the floor with their girl? And to make yourself more present with your family when you come home from your miserable job, and to place 5th instead of just the top 50th, and to get off anxiety medications, and to hit that final 5 pound, like, get those 5 pounds off to hit your major 50-pound weight loss goal, and to build a community of people that help you reinstate your worthiness and love and passion. How many other people are out there that need the same things we needed? And how would that feel to give that to them and watch them go through the transformation we've gone through? Like, it makes me emotional when I think about that. And that's why I thought this would be helpful. And I would love to hear kind of from you guys I know some of you guys have already made huge impacts on challengers, but how has that felt when you've done that? Or how do you think it would feel when you have that impact on them?
One of the first big impacts that I felt from, I guess, a coaching standpoint, like from helping someone else become a coach, was Kat. Some of you may know her story, but she was a softball player like me, and kind of had the same story, anxiety, had gained weight. And she was in grad school and broke as hell and could not afford this. And so she tried doing it on her own. And when she realized that just the clean eating part, which she got from a friend, was doing some good, she was like, oh, maybe I should just do the whole thing. And she's competitive. And so she decided to do it. And then literally she couldn't afford it. And so when I told her, well, would you like to, at least get your Shakeology for free next month? She's like, yes, how do I do that? Because she'd fallen in love with the results she was getting. And she kind of went gung-ho with it. And before I knew it, she was telling me, when you asked me to do that, I literally couldn't afford batteries. Like, she couldn't afford batteries. She was taking batteries from her remote and putting it into other things. Like rotating the same pair of batteries around all of her things. So that felt really, really good from a coaching standpoint. I was just like, holy shit. Like, I never would have, sorry for my language, is just how I roll. I just couldn't believe that was something that I would have been capable of introducing to someone else. And that sort of hooked me in terms of, I want to find more people to do this business, not because it's going to help me, but because it's going to help them. That was really cool. And then the other kind of big, huge moment was a challenger of mine who was a customer lead. So not all customer leads, actually most customer leads, will not talk back to you when you introduce yourself to them. But every once in a while, you'll find one of them. And Carolina was one of my very first customer leads. And when I finally got her on the phone, her passion for, and she knew everything that she was supposed to do, and her passion for everything, for Shakeology, for everything was awesome, but she literally could not afford it. Single mom of 4 kids, out of work, literally could not afford this. And she would save up little amounts of money until she could finally buy 1 bag of Shakeology. But she kept doing 21-day fix. That was the program that she had got over and over and over again. And she lost 70 or 80 pounds, and she's still going. She's amazing. She's done this now for a couple of years, but she lost the 70 pounds or something in a year. Truly unbelievable. And her pictures on Facebook were dark, far away, and all of a sudden it was super bright and she's smiling, and it was I started crying when I realized how much of an impact. And she always kept saying, I never would have actually done the program if you hadn't have contacted me. And that was my biggest one in terms of realizing someone's life literally completely changed because I cared enough to at least try to help them, even when I knew, they weren't going to be purchasing more things or anything like that. I just was there as a friend, and then this is what happened. It was really cool.
I love that. And there's so many stories out there, not just on our team, but all of Beachbody. We see those all the time. But so I know we're just about out of time, but maybe tonight, if you have time, or tomorrow, take maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes of time to reflect on it, and just imagine how deeply emotional this experience can be with the transformations and what it provides in your life, and then what that would feel like to pay that forward. Because when we get stressed, we're up here, and we often are focusing on ourselves, or at least I know that's really true for me. And when I can take a step back and focus on them and knowing what it's done for me and being able to pay that forward, it's no longer, like Laura said, about selling something. It's not about Success Club. It's not about any of that. It's about giving someone this gift, which could be as significant as giving someone their life back, literally, either physically or emotionally. It could give somebody their life back. And we have a really powerful opportunity here. And I think February is going to be the perfect time. And I am going to use this focus personally to lead myself into February. Obviously, still pushing strong in January, but we have some really cool opportunities next month. And I think when we focus on this first part of what made us fall in love with Beachbody and what others can fall in love with too, and get out of our heads with everything else, things happen naturally. And those vital behaviors, keeping it simple and reaching out and giving someone this chance because you never know who needs this. And the more I think about it, it's not up to me to decide that they probably can't afford it, or they probably like their gym, or whatever. It doesn't matter what I think, because I have no idea if they need this as much as I needed. And I would never have posted or reached out first. And I needed my coach to come to me first. And they need us. And so when we think about how amazing this could be for them, suddenly you get a little less scared about reaching out. And no's don't bother you quite as much when you know you're genuinely asking for their benefits. So very cool. And I appreciate you guys sharing tonight. It really means a lot. And I definitely feel closer to you guys knowing more details about your stories and all that. What do you call the warm fuzzies? But anyway, anybody have any last remarks? No? Sweet. You guys are awesome. Thanks for hopping on. I hope you guys have a good week. And we will see everybody next week. Bye.